Hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Wanted to hop on here and show you guys, well, actually have a take two of a shedding video since I totally botched that the first time. So these babies finally shed Friday. So unfortunately it was probably during the night where I couldn't really get to it to show you guys what they looked like, so I apologize for that. But I have all of their shed stuck, or they're not stuck, but here. So that's a lot of different baby sheds. Lots of sheds. But the cool thing about that means that we can actually feed them this week. So depending on what time we do that, I will try to do a live video with it, but I'm not making any promises. So with that being said, I wanted to show you guys the babies.
So right now you got Brittany watching, Shaylin is watching, and Omega.
Oh, Omega.
Omega, yeah, he's watching as well.
Alright, so we definitely need to change out their substrate now.
Oh, because of the sheds?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So usually once they shed, their colors pop a lot better. When they are about to shed, they kind of get a frosty look to them. Mm-hmm. Their eyes kind of turn like a grayish blue color, and that's a definite sign that they are about to shed. Usually when a snake is in shed or about to go into shed, you really don't want to mess with them because they are a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressive, but they don't want to be messed with. So we try not to mess with them when we know that they're about to go into shed, and usually they won't eat when they're about to shed as well. So if you have a snake that just all of a sudden is not eating for whatever reason, you can't figure it out, it's probably about to shed. Come on.
Also, if you have an animal like an albino or something that's very, very light in pigmentation and you can't really tell if they're in shed because of their eye color and stuff like that, if they're not eating, then that's a definite sign. We tried to feed our albino the other night, and she wouldn't eat. And I thought maybe it's because she was gravid, because I did pair her with my Xanthic het for albino, and I thought maybe she was pregnant. Turns out she was just in shed. She shed, and now she's all over her tank trying to find food. So I'm going to feed her tonight. But these are all the new babies after they shed. The color is just awesome. Brittany said that one is her fave.
The one that I just had?
I think so. I don't know if it was the Coral Glow or the Coral Glow Pinstripe.
So that was half of the babies. We kind of separated them so that way they could have a little bit more room. Oh, look, we got another shed in here.
Oh, yes, I told you.
Did.
I told you he did shed, yeah. So we did have one of the babies that still hadn't shed yet, and apparently he has shed too. So this tub is all females. It's 4 of them, 4 pinstripes. And in the ball python world, pinstripes and spider females tend to get to be the biggest. So if you want an animal that is very easy to manage as far as their care, which is what ball pythons, that's the reason why people love ball pythons, but you want an animal that's a nice size but not overwhelmingly big, a pinstripe, a female pinstripe, if you feed her accordingly, she gets pretty big. Our female pinstripe she's the biggest one in our clutch.
Yeah, yeah.
Not clutch, but in our collection, sorry.
Yep.
And she's the mother to these beautiful girls here. But I like pinstripes. They have a nice color pattern on there. It's a good starter snake.
It is.
It's a good starter snake if you want a nice morph that's not particularly expensive, but has a definite different pattern than the normal that you saw in that first bend. And yeah, that's how that works.
So fresh shed is usually moist and somewhat sticky, if that makes any sense. That consistency with a shed lets you know that your snake or your lizard has shed a really good shed. Sometimes they do have issues with not being able to get the shed off of them. And at that point, you basically just have to soak them in a tub to loosen up the skin, and then you can pick it off of them once they have soaked for a few minutes. We've had to do that plenty of times, and basically it's caused by the air in their tank or their bin being way too dry. So they don't have the humidity up in it enough to have a perfect little shed. So at that point, that's when we have to help them. But that's basically all I wanted to show you guys, is that the babies have now finally shed, and you, case in point,
have a piece of stuck shed on them. This is the last one to shed, actually.
Yep.
And there's a telltale sign.
So he still has shed stuck. Now the good thing is that this tub is really moist. Bam. So a little bit. So because of that, the humidity's, pretty decent in here. I don't have to actually soak this guy to get it off. Come here. All right.
There it is. Bang.
And we're done. So, yeah. So that's all that you really have to do when your reptiles go into shed and they need help.
They have a bunch of stuff on market that you can buy. Shed ease and mists and sprays. But we found just lukewarm water.
Yeah.
And then another person gave us a great idea. And I meant to tell you this other night when we went to go pick up that Mystic. He suggested that what we do is we take hot water, hottest water we can get, run a towel into it, and then just drain all the hot water out, let it cool until it gets warm, and then put it in the bin and put the snake in the bin. That way, when it goes around in it, the humidity is jacked up, and it can go ahead and get the skin off on its own because it's got something to move up against.
Okay, well.
So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone said another thing they said was just take them, do the same thing, but put it into a pillowcase and put the snake in the pillowcase with the hot towel and let him go around, because then at every point he's pulling off.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. Well, we're always learning new tricks, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so like I said, I just wanted to hop on here and show you guys that they have shed, and that we will be feeding them this week. And like I said, if I can get it to where it's not too late, I will go ahead and video the feeding and let you guys see that. We do feed all of our guys frozen thawed mice, so there's no live mice.
I want to kind of show both tubs together.
Oh, okay.
And Kimberly Moore has logged in. She just said that she'll never come over here again. We have too many snakes.
Oh, come on.
She said she's going to do cookouts via Facebook Live, and that's it.
No.
Kim's being a punk. Her whole family touched the snakes and the frogs and stuff last time they came. She was the only one in the hallway. But, I mean, to each his own. Kim, if you ever want to get rid of your fear of snakes, we have like a 7-step plan that will help you get rid of it. It's super easy. But those are the Coral Glow pinstripes. They're the reason why we have this clutch, is these animals right here. They're the reason why, because they're just so beautiful. And the color pattern is just so unique. And I didn't see a lot of people producing them. And this is just an animal that when people see it, it's eye-popping, it's eye-catching, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want one. So, we got a little escape artist right here. Look at this guy.
He's like, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it?
Notice that? You see that?
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, go ahead and write them, and I will check up on those and respond back to you already. So, anyway, you guys have a great rest of the afternoon, and I will see you later on this.